Hello, sportsmen. I want you to hang on for the next half hour because we have a show that is full of variety. We're going to start with a follow-up to that home video that Tom Walter had where he was stalked by a black bear in Canada. You're going to see Tom on his first bear hunt. Now, we can't leave in everything Tom says, but I'm sure you'll get the idea. We'll give you our straight-from-the-shoulder report from what we've heard about deer numbers this season. I might as well tell you, they're far from the number the DNR has been telling us. We have 2 great venison recipes and our regular updates, so stay tuned. I'm Fred Trost with a show that's dedicated to the practical sportsman.
I know you're not going to believe this. I just shot a bear.
Go on! Go on, bear! Go on, bear!
Remember that video that Tom Walter took when he was alone on a fishing trip in Canada? A black bear stalked him and even chased him into the water. Now, research on bear attacks by Dr. Stephen Herrero from the University of Calgary indicated that this black bear was not defending any cubs. It didn't regard Tom as an intruder into its territory. This black bear was a very unusual predatory black bear. It followed the exact pattern of a black bear that wanted to kill Tom Walter and eat him. Fortunately, Tom fought off the bear's advances and it finally left. That was really a scary situation. It's documented here, or situations like this, in Bear Attacks, a book by Dr. Stephen Herrero that talks about grizzly bear and black bear attacks. When I read this, whoa, kind of spooky. But Tom Walter wasn't done with bears. He recently sent me a home video that began in his living room as he was telling me about his first bear hunt.
Hi Fred, this is Tom Walter. I'm sending you this bear tape because all of my friends and family, when they saw this and the fact that I got a bear, they thought this would just be a pretty neat follow-up for you to do on your program in relation to the bear encounter in Canada episode you showed last November. I don't know, maybe the revenge angle or something, I don't know. I kind of sent in for a bear permit as a joke, just because all of my friends were calling me the bear man, and I ended up getting a permit, so I figured, well, what the heck, I might as well do it right. Last October, after I'd been in your studio, I believe it was early October, I was up bow hunting, October 20th or 21st or something. I had a big bear walk underneath me at that time, so I figured that'd be the place I'd go to set up and see what would happen.
See it? There he is. You look like Nerd Newson or something. You know, you look, that bill of that hat is, you look like a good old country boy.
They'll never see it. See, my light flashes on and off. Yours is just a steady light.
Okay, yeah, it'll be all right, I think. I'm going to be up there. He's not going to be looking at one. All right.
A bear.
Let's go. And you can stop having those nightmares?
Yeah.
All right.
Tell the story.
It's really nasty back in here. It comes out into the open area right beside the Tabor River.
My friend Steve Carrico, I set him up in a tree stand about 15 yards from the bait pile with a camcorder, hoping that he could get some videotape of the bear coming in and maybe me getting the shot or whatever, the whole 9 yards. But unfortunately, the bear never showed himself. I did think I saw it Sunday night. Just before dark, I saw a black form moving out there, and when I tried to get Steve's attention up in the tree stand, I think I scared him off. But Steve's got some video of the general direction. He's got some pretty neat video of the bait pile and where my spot is in relationship to the bait pile, and he films the river that's just off to the side of me. And the best part of the video, though, however, is on Monday. I was hunting by myself. Steve had to go home Sunday night, and it was going to be my last night. I took Monday off. It's 25 minutes to 4. Just got done bird hunting. We got 2 partridge. I'm by myself. It's going to be the last try. We'll see what we do. It's been raining off and on. I'm going to try to take this camera and set it up on the tripod like it is now and see what happens. Like I said before, pretty sure we saw something black moving last night, so next thing in this film you'll see will be me walking in, checking the bait pile, and we'll see if it's been hit. I'm going to change my clothes, and we'll probably be sitting down right about 4 o'clock. I'm going to get the tree stand down first. Probably really be sitting about 4:15, but we'll see what happens.
Just got in here. It's about 4:15, taking the tree stand down. The bear bait was not hit. I don't know if you can get a good sight of it over here, but kind of disappointing. I thought for sure that bear last night would have hit it. I'm having a hell of a time trying to get this tripod set up. I don't know if it's gonna work. It's pretty cumbersome to have to film. Here's where the tree stand was. The river's right back here. It's been raining off and on today. It's the area that we thought we saw the bear last night. Saw a black thing going through there. It was heading away from us, but never came in. So this will probably be all that I film unless we see something. So I'll be signing out now until something happens.
Just before dark, I heard something crossing the river, and I had my camcorder in my blind with me, set up on a tripod, but I didn't have time to turn it on in time to catch the bear coming in. Because when I heard the water, something crossing the river, I immediately looked over there and I saw there he was. He stepped right out and came right to the bait pile. Stood over the bait pile for maybe 10, 20 seconds, and I didn't have a real good shot. Took 3 or 4 more steps and I let him have it. But the best part of the video is immediately after I shot him, I turned on the camera, and you're going to see the definition of buck fever there, because I was, well, in this case, bear fever. I was quite nervous.
I know you're not gonna believe this. I just shot a bear. It's not more, it's about, I don't know, maybe 110 pounds. I hit it, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. It's 25 to 8. It ran straight ahead. My compass is in the car. I'm gonna get lost. I heard it crying. I know I hit it. It jumped hard. It came from across the river. I gotta go now because it's gonna get dark. I'm gonna get lost. Shit. I got one though. Shot a bear. I think I'm just gonna leave all my shit here. Okay. It's not very big. Oh God. Oh shit, I'm gonna get lost. Okay. We go. Oh God, I'm shaking like a leaf. I hope it didn't go very far. His whole body jumped. His whole body went all the way sideways. Oh God. Oh shit. Oh, gotta go now. Get back. Okay, signing off. There's the blood right there. I hit him good. Blood's all over the thing. Blood everywhere. Blood there. I'm pretty sure it's dead, but I don't know. It's right there. I don't see him moving. I'm scared to death. I'm gonna set the thing right here. Walk up with my gun. I'm shaking like a leaf. Deader than He's deader than I got a bear. I got a bear.
It was quite exciting. Since I was by myself, I had to run into town. I had to leave the bear out there. I left all my camcorder and gun in my blind. I lost my flashlight while I was trying to gut this bear out and drag it out. I gutted it out and I dragged it a few yards. I lost my flashlight. By that time it was dark. I was by myself. I found my way out. I drove into town up to a restaurant and made some phone calls back home, and my brother-in-law knew some people in Gaylord, And those people were lifesavers. They come down and helped me quite a bit and helped me get it out of the woods.
Tom Walter's bear, by the way, was not 110 pounds like he estimated. It probably weighed more like 250 pounds live weight, more than twice as big as he thought it was. But you know, anybody that has gotten a big animal like that can relate to Tom's fears. You know that we had to bleep out an awful lot of Tom Walter's words. Well, we do have the original unedited tape here, which we can show you the adult version here at the museum. So we'll run it for adults who want to see this at the museum. I'll tell you, it is quite hysterical. I want to thank Tom Walter from Waterford for sharing another one of his private moments with us. But speaking of bears, let's go over to one of our bear exhibits here at the museum and talk a little further about bear attacks. Which would do more damage, a swat by the paw of a black bear or a swat by a grizzly bear? Well, even though bears might be similar in size, this is a small grizzly bear here at the museum. It was mounted and taken by taxidermist Roger Smith. Did a magnificent job on this bear. It's about a 300-pounder, not a lot bigger than the black bear that Tom Walter got. But the story isn't in the size of the bear. The story, we're talking about a swat from the paw. Here's a paw from a black bear. And let's take a look at the size of the claws. I mean, they're an inch or so long, every one of them. They're sharp, and they could do some damage. But compare it to the claw of a grizzly bear. Look at these babies. These can rip you wide open, deep gashes. That's why grizzly bear attacks usually involve many, many stitches and are very serious, but you can actually fight off an attack from a black bear and usually come out of it in not too bad of a shape. So the grizzly bears are the ones you have to worry about. Now we're going to shift gears here. Pardon the transition, but we have an excellent recipe Kathy Beitler and Barbara Conklin have combined for something that you can really get your claws into.
Some of the recipes we get are fun recipes, and this is one of those. It's not only easy to make, but it's just one of those fun recipes to make. You're going to saute some onions and venison burger. That's just plain ground venison burger.
But you know, Barbara Conklin always does award-winning recipes and normally uses pheasant.
Yeah.
But venison is a little departure for her.
And this one is definitely a winner. You got some brown sugar and soy sauce. And you usually don't think of brown sugar also in a meat recipe. And then some fresh mushrooms. And you just want to saute this a little bit. And add some cream of chicken soup. Instead of a beef stock or anything else, because you want this to kind of stick together like a casserole. And just simmer that a little bit, and then add rice to take up some of that slack.
Cooked rice.
Right, and this is pre-cooked.
Boy,
and then we're going to put it in a pumpkin.
It looks like you're going to feed the city of Detroit with this, Kathy.
I think that's what I had in mind. Now, I think you want to get a smaller pumpkin than what we found at the end of the season. And then go ahead and add your mixture to it, and then just put that back in the oven. And now, also, if you use a smaller pumpkin, it'll go in the oven a lot better than mine did.
That is funny. That's funny. But it's called Dinner in a Pumpkin. And was a winner in our wild game cooking contest, and the judges loved it.
I can see that becoming a family tradition. Just before Christmas time or maybe after Thanksgiving, doing this and feeding the whole family with a pumpkin in the center of the table, so I'm going for Dinner in a Pumpkin.
There's something about the pumpkin, the ambiance of just having that pumpkin around, and then John
The ambiance of a pumpkin.
That was beautiful.
I think we've come to a new poetic height there.
Well, Charlie said it best. It's going to become a family tradition, and I think it will in some households. But having the pumpkin around, and as John McKenzie pointed out while we were eating this, probably the best hint I've heard all day is try some of that pumpkin meat. Make sure you get that intermixed within the recipe itself, and I'll tell you what, when that happened, it added just the extra to that recipe to make it just first class. It is something else.
We'll have the address where you can write for that recipe at the end of the program. But you know, most hunters are out there for venison. A few hunters get big racks. Now, these big racks we want to honor in our Real Tree Hunting Awards program. We also want to have the data on this because this helps us find out where the big ones were taken, how. Very interesting information. To qualify for one of our Real Tree Hunting Awards, you have two ways of doing it. 10 antler points. Now this is a 10-point buck right here, but your buck only has to have tines 1 inch or larger. They don't have to be huge, but 1 inch tine will work. If you don't have a 10 point, say a 9, 8 point, 7 point, if the maximum outside spread is 18 inches or more, that will also qualify you for a Real Tree Hunting Award. So fill out a form. We can send you a form if you write to us or call us. Get a form out of an old Outdoor Digest magazine. Send it in to us with a photo, and we will get you an award. What the award is, it's an embroidered patch. It will be a certificate that I sign. You'll be invited to our Hunting Awards banquet, a great meal from Coils of Houghton Lake, plus stories on stage and awards on stage of the winners. You'll be listed in our Hunting Awards trophy book, which will be printed next fall in our magazine. And I mean, it's a great honor for somebody to get a 10-point buck, 18-inch spread, and we want to honor you for that.
We have an easy but elegant recipe by Brett St. Pierre called Filet of Whitetail on croutons. And it's got quite a bit of steps to it, but each step is quite easy. Going to make a spread out of butter and a little bit of tarragon, some lemon juice, and some parsley. You can form that into a roll and put it in wax paper, and then it goes into the fridge. And you just want to form it so they'll fit on your crouton slices when you're done.
Oh, this is one of these recipes that you do in steps.
Right,
and
exactly.
Then put it all together later.
Yep. You're going to take bread and roll it out a little bit, and then you just want to kind of brown it.
Now, hold it. That doesn't look like bread.
It is. Yeah.
What'd you do, punch it?
No, you roll it out a little bit, and then cut it with a cookie cutter.
Oh, I
Make
see.
little rounds. And then just kind of saute them, and then some fresh mushrooms and a little bit of lemon juice and salt and pepper will go into this. And you don't want to overcook these either. Just saute them until the juice just starts to come out of them.
Notice you don't have the stems on the mushrooms.
No, cut them all off. And then you're going to take your venison, and actually we used tenderloin.
Oh boy, that's
The best part.
you cannot go wrong
Right.
with this piece of meat.
And they're just you kind of flatten those out a little bit, and then put a piece of salt pork around that, and then tie it up.
Now, when you say salt pork,
You could use bacon, but
bacon?
no, this has a little bit more fat to it, and actually gives it a little bit more flavor. It won't fry quite as quickly as bacon would. Then you're just going to heat these through, and the only thing you have in your pan is salt. You don't have any grease or anything else. And then you take the salt pork off, and that actually lets the meat cook without frying itself. Then you put that on a piece of crouton with a little piece of the spread. And that's about all there is to this recipe.
but is it good?
This has to be, without a doubt, one of the best venison recipes I've ever had.
Ever
Oh.
had.
I don't know what
In
I
my
can say
life.
to describe how good this tastes.
Just melts in your mouth, literally.
All I can say is, this is the best venison recipe I've ever had. This is, oh man. Kathy,
That sauce on top of there, that's...
That little butter spread.
Oh, just delectable.
You know, if they say with every meal of this you eat, like you knock a month off your life. Okay, give me 12 of these. I'll take 12.
I felt a little closer to heaven just tasting it.
Yes.
Oh man.
Is anybody going to eat that last one?
Go ahead, Charlie, because we're going to put our order in for more. Oh, there's nothing you can say about this, but this is the most phenomenal. Oh. Be gentle with that, Charlie.
Read it nicely.
It's,
This is
this is one of the only foods that I've ever been in awe of.
oh man. How much you want for that?
I won't sell it. I'm not going to sell it.
Wow. You didn't get to taste it, Doug.
Not today.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Folks, this is Doug Tabor. He's the advertising manager for the Practical Sportsman magazine. He also collects our guide report information for our maps. You collect the outdoor calendar information, do a lot of the groundwork here for the television show. I'm going to review something with you, Doug. We had, before deer season, the DNR put out a report. They often put out a whole booklet. This year we got one sheet about their hunting expectations, about the same as last year, maybe down a little bit. So hunters were led to believe that things were going to be about the same. Then, on the 1st of November, here's the first article I saw that said the antlerless kill was expected to be down 10%. Not the overall deer kill, not the buck kill, but antlerless kill only. Then on November 1st, another paper put out this little hint that said the numbers just might be a little bit lower. Well, okay, this is preparing us for something. We look at November 16th from the Detroit Free Press. They had an article here about the slow start on deer season and had the theory that the cold weather down in the 10s and 15s kept hunters home in bed where it was warm.
Well, I read that too, and most of the people I talked to went hunting, even though it was cold.
I mean, hey, that's my plan. I buy the license, we all go.
I did see there were some muddy roads too that might have kept some hunters in.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, anyway, that's all real questionable. Let's look at what happened on the 22nd. Reports of the first week of deer season. We have reports that the season was slow, no doubt about it. There was snow in some parts of the state. Here we have a headline that said the slow start spares many deer. This is a big question, Doug. How many deer were spared? How many deer were there in the first place? I, for one, hey, you've heard me say this. I didn't believe the DNR's numbers 2 years ago. I didn't believe them last year, and I do not believe this year where they said 1.6 to 1.8 million deer. I think that was baloney. I think it was baloney. You checked. I asked you to check the buck polls around the state.
I did a call around the state to several buck polls. Mooney's up here in Clare. A year ago they had 14 deer on their buck poll opening day. This year they had 4. The numbers were way down. Lenny's up at Houghton Lake, they had 79 deer last year, only 36 on the buck poll. He had never seen a year with that few deer. Bluegills in St. Helens had 184 last year.
In the first 2 days.
In the first 2 days. They had 10 this year in the first 2 days. Triple M holds a buck poll up in Sheboygan, Indian River, I'm sorry. They had 95 2 years ago. Last year it dropped to 27. This year it was 23.
What about up in the UP?
Up in the UP, Dick's up at Houghton, the numbers are down. They're not seeing the deer that they were. They're seeing bigger bucks.
And I hate to give this away, but Cadillac area, when you ask them, did they not say, Doug, please don't mention anything because it's so low?
It was slow. It was very slow. They didn't want to talk about it.
Well, that's Doug Tabor's report on the buck polls. And let me just do an editorial comment right here. I think it's time that the governor does something about the DNR. The legislature does something about the DNR. These numbers that the DNR has been putting out are highly questionable at best. I think that we need to get our old-fashioned conservation department back, a hunting and fishing agency that actually has a handle on the numbers. I don't think there's any question that the number of deer that were actually out there weren't there and aren't there, and nobody knows exactly how many there are. I'm sure we'll talk about this on future shows. That's my editorial comment for this moment. I hope you enjoyed this program, folks. We have a corker of a show coming up again next week, so join us, please, and get outdoors. It's a great place to be. Good news and bad news about the first issue of the Practical Sportsman magazine. The good news is it's at the printer. We will be printing 42,000 copies. We will also be sending out the copies automatically to all of you who are subscribers through public television, who have donated and gotten a subscription through public TV. If you look at the mailing label on your old Outdoor Digest magazines and it has a T next to the expiration date, or your ID number, that T with a number after it means that you were a public television subscriber. You're going to automatically be taken care of. However, a recent court order, which we just got on Tuesday, temporarily restrains us from mailing to the other Outdoors Club members. We want to offer you a free subscription to the Practical Sportsman magazine, a free membership in the Federation of Michigan Sportsmen, but we've been temporarily barred from doing this. In order to get the magazine in your hands, people who I believe I've made a commitment to fulfill your subscription, and I'll do it for free, send me the mailing label from one of your old Outdoor Digest magazines. It'll have on there the expiration date, your ID number, and so on, and the information we need, and I will make good on this. So, in summary, if you were a public television donor and received your subscription through public TV, you will receive your magazine as soon as it rolls off the presses. If you were not, please send me your address label. If in the past you sent for one of our magazines, please send me the label. I'll send you a new one for free. If you sent the $3 in the past month or so, you will be getting your magazine. So that's the scoop. The magazine is coming out. We're having a little bit of problem right now in court over this. Hopefully it will be resolved soon. But you can help me create a new mailing list by sending me your mailing label. So So please do this.
I know you're not going to believe this. I just shot a bear. It's not more, it's about, I don't know, maybe 110 pounds. I hit it. I don't know what the hell I want to do.